You're tuned in to 88.5 FM, where the Valley comes alive.
Now on VCA 885, where the Valley comes alive, we're covering all things sport in the Swan Valley. This is In the Sheds with Albie, Brucey and Donnie.
That's right, you're in the Sheds. It's Wednesday. If you want to have a chat to us during the show, you can hit us up on at the Sheds 885. Send us a message on Twitter. Send us a message on Facebook. Let us know your thoughts, what you think of anything that we discussed tonight, or anything you think that we should discuss. We've got a massive show tonight. I actually don't know how we're going to fit it all in. And the prodigal son has returned. Brucey, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Albie. G'day, Donnie. G'day, Albie. How are you?
Hey, good
boys. Side little sojourn away. Obviously, you had a big show last week, but just having a quick read through what we've got on today. Wow. Anyway.
Yeah, it gets bigger and better from here too. We're starting to get the winter sports heating up, and we've got everything going all at the same time at the moment. So our heads are spinning. Everyone who loves sport is in paradise at the moment because there's lots going on.
The traditional transition between winter and summer sports, as we'll probably raise a little bit later on, is it's blurring very badly, and that's something we'll bring up a little bit later on. So.
Yeah, no, there's definitely not a line anymore where you go straight from one sport to the next. I'm already copying it for not rocking up to footy training. It's like, well, I'm there, but I'm at cricket, so we've still got 4 weeks left of cricket, but the footy season is well and truly swinging at the moment. But we will get started on the Swan Valley, and so for those that don't follow us on Facebook, a bit of an interesting development last week where we. Generally, before the games, we will put up a post about the games that are happening this week for the Ellenbrook Rangers or the Swan Valley Cricket Club. And we ended up in a little bit of a standoff with the Applecross Cricket Club.
We sledged them.
Basically, yeah.
Well, they sledged us.
They started. They started.
Sorry, they started it.
Yeah, they...
Okay, fair call then. Now, sledge away.
Well, not us.
Are we the sledgee or the sledger?
Well, it basically They came out to remind the Valley boys that they bowled them all for 75 last time they met, and they thought that it was, even though Valley was a lot higher than them on the ladder, that it was going to be very, very easy for them to do that again, that they had a really strong lineup going in and they didn't rate the Valley's lineup at all. So a little bit of toing and froing, and we've got a little friendly bet going at the moment. So if the Valley wins, Applecross has to change their Facebook page to the Valley's logo and get a nice picture of the boys who do their podcast in the Swan Valley gear. And if the Swan Valley loses, then it's on us. And the background of the In the Sheds page will be the Applecross Cricket Club, and will be a nice photo of us wearing the Applecross gear.
Well, the good news for us is that we haven't got the tailor in here measuring us for shirts just yet, because we're in a pretty good position.
We're in a fantastic position, but it didn't start out that way. The Valley opened up the batting, and we were sitting at 3 for 2. And I'm actually really surprised, probably because they were playing, that they didn't contact us to ask us if we wanted to start getting fitted out. Thanks to Stanley Harrison with his first century for the club, 118 not out. We're now in a position of 9 for 251 at stumps, with Applecross going into bat this coming Saturday. So we'll be following that one nice and close to find out what's going to happen, if we're going to be wearing the Applecross red and black, or if they'll be wearing the green and white. So stay tuned on that one. We'll move on to the 6th grade. Donnie, it looks like the Sheds curse on poor Paul Reid is just continuing.
Well, it doesn't. I think we're in a pretty good position where we probably should win that game. We made 140, which isn't the best of totals, but that was mostly thanks to a bit of wag in the tail, because it could have been a lot worse.
7 for 16 before James Calder and Braden Howitson came into bat. Calder with 55, Howitson with 67. His first half ton for the club and his personal best, so he was pretty stoked on himself. He's a young kid, and he's but mainly a bowler. But he does like to get a few runs, so he was pretty chuffed on himself to be able to kind of control himself and get the job done.
Yeah, and the bowlers then come out and they've done a really good job. They've got Tuart Hill 7 for 74, So they only need 3 wickets to get the first innings win. But getting the first innings win, we found out last week, doesn't really mean too much if you end up losing outright. So hopefully they can get those 3 wickets and then hold on and not lose outright this time around.
Yeah, no, definitely. The Chewett Hill captain, Brembilla, 7 for 45 off his 13 overs, and I dare say he was probably a lot more economical in the beginning before Howatson and Calder came into bat. For us, Mann with 3 for 6 off 7 overs, and Howatson doing it with both ball and bat, 1 for 2 off 3 overs. So they'll be looking to hopefully pick up where they leave off and get stuck into it. OD2 just falling short. Took on Balcatta, bowled him 10 for 130. Adam Gooden with 3 for 25. Reece Southwick 3 for 14, and John McGill 3 for 18. And also a quick mention to the under-13s player Josh Chitty, who came in 1 for 6 off 4 overs. 12 years old. Yeah, he's got a bit of pace on him. I wouldn't want to be facing him when he's older. A couple of years, I won't even see him anymore. He'll just be an A-grader, and that'll be it. He won't even talk to me anymore.
Does he talk to you now?
Well, I give him a lift now and then, so he has to. Otherwise, it's a very quiet car drive. But just falling short, 14 runs short to be exact, 10 for 116. Caroleo with 19 and John McGill with 22, top scored.
Just for the listeners out here that might not have followed it, I mean, OD2 haven't won a game this year, so to get within 14 runs, that's a heartbreaking loss, but a great effort from the boys. I think they've improved throughout the season. Yeah,
the last few weeks have been really, really good. So looking to hopefully get a win on the board before the end of the season. OD3, Nolamara bowled 8 for 104, and they've come out. They finished it on a 6, 4 for 110. They are streamlining towards the finals now. I think they've lost 1 game in the last probably 8, so doing very well.
Yeah, they still need a few things to sort of go their way. With Ocean Ridge and South Perth and Swan Athletic Caversham that are sort of all just that's 6 points ahead of them. But, they're a chance of playing finals.
No worries. Well, we'll be back in a moment. We are going to get stuck into the controversy corner. We've got a few, so we need to give ourselves a bit of time for that one. You're listening to In the Sheds.
This is In the Sheds with Albie, Brucey and Donny on VCA 885 FM, where the Valley comes alive.
We will rock you. Everybody, we will rock you. We will rock you. All right.
Join me every Thursday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. on 88.5 FM, where the Valley comes alive, where I bring you the music from the 70s through the 2000s on Jimmy Will Rock You.
This is In the Sheds with Albie, Brucey and Donny. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter at The Sheds 885. Now it's time to turn up the heat in the Sheds. It's Blowtorch.
Welcome back. We're in the Sheds. You can hit us up on Twitter or on Facebook at the Sheds 885. My apologies. We are going to get into the Blowtorch, not into the controversy corner. That's going to be a bit later on. So we'll get started. And Donny, I'll get you to open up with this one in relation to the new commissioner.
Peter Beattie has just been announced recently as the new chairman of the Australian Rugby League Commission. Now, under him are 9 commissioners, and Peter Beattie's come out during the week and said point blank the next commissioner selected would be a woman. So before they've even looked at candidates, before they've even started to go into the marketplace, he's said that the next commissioner is definitely going to be a woman, regardless of who the other candidates might be. And to me, that is ridiculous. Well,
this goes the other way with sexism, doesn't it? Is what you're probably saying.
Yeah, well,
get the best candidate.
Exactly. I mean, I'm all for diversity. I think if you've got 10 middle-aged white men, all from Queensland or New South Wales, then you're going to get a very sort of narrow viewpoint. So getting that diversity is important. So it's something that they should factor into their decision, but it shouldn't be set out in stone before they've even had a look at what's out there and who's available that it's definitely going to be a woman. I think it makes her job harder because, how's she going to get that respect?
Yeah. You're not here because...
Yeah, because you were the best for the job, but because you're a woman, which is ridiculous. She may very well be the best person for the job.
Absolutely. I do want to... I'll just quickly touch on something else from another sport. Is cricket did it in South Africa, where they had the Afrikaans had to have a player in their team every time, and they're just going, we're trying to get equal rights for everyone here, but this is... Don't put a token person in there because it just looks stupid for you and looks stupid for us.
Yeah.
And there's already plenty of women in high power positions in sport. They don't need a handout. They, if anything, they don't need the, you look at the Richmond Tigers, they're
Peggy O'Neill.
Exactly.
And the Western Bulldogs. There are multiple female... Yeah. No, that's... Yeah.
And that's the other thing that sort of frustrated me with it was that there's already a woman in the commission. Professor Megan Davis is already on the commission, so they've already got a woman.
So what's he doing then?
So they're going to get another one. My question is, okay, so we're going to have 2 women on the panel. I'm just wondering how many people on the commission are, for instance, of Pacific Island descent, because I would think that there's quite a lot of Pacific Islanders play rugby league. So do we have any people of Pacific Island descent on the commission? Like, how far does it go before you start narrowing in on the type of person you want, before you start to say, well, let's just get the best person for the job that's going to have the best interests of rugby league at heart and go from there?
Yeah, it's the way that the comment was made as well. If he'd said, look, I believe the way the game is going, that the next commissioner very well could be a female, there's nothing wrong with saying that. To say that, women in rugby are going leaps and bounds, I believe that the next commissioner will be a female. Nothing wrong with that comment. To say flat out the next one will be a female regardless of the other applicants.
Candidates.
The other candidates, that's basically, I
also object to the idea that only a woman can progress female participation in any sport, in rugby league or in any sport. We had Baden Turner on the show, who's a great example of a male that is driving female participation in that sport.
Yeah.
So,
and doing a smashing job.
An incredibly passionate bloke about that area of the sport. So it doesn't have to be a woman to do it.
No, not at all. We'll move on to the JLT series, and this always causes a bit of a stir as far as. Well, we don't really like it. We want a state of origin back, but that's neither here nor there. My issue with it at the moment is now how many weeks have we got left of the JLT comp?
What, 2?
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
So
we're 4 weeks away from round 1, I believe.
Okay, can you explain to me why Gray is suspended for 3 matches then? When his suspension's for 1, but he's suspended for 3.
All right.
Because he now can't play in any of the JLT games, but he also misses round 1. So effectively, he's been suspended for 3 games.
Not sure.
So the JLT games don't count as part of your suspension, but you can get suspended by playing in them.
Yes, that is correct.
And you're ineligible for the Brownlow for the fairest and best during the season, even though you get suspended in a pre-season game.
Yep.
And the fact that he didn't really have any choices. Like, the bloke can't disappear. His lawyers argued at the tribunal that he had less than a second to react, and the commission said, well, then you should pull out of the contest and not contest the ball.
He can't.
That's
hover.
their solution.
Yeah.
How is that a solution? That's not AFL. You're taught from the moment you can pick up a football that if the ball's there to be contested, you contest it.
Look, it's been the frustrating thing for so long with football, but we've come to accept that if you give a head-high bump, you will be suspended, and that has generally been the consensus for a while. So I wasn't surprised that he copped a week. I don't, and I would understand why Port fans would be frustrated as well, is now Gray will miss out on the next couple of games, and then he will miss the first game of the season as well for an incident that potentially could have been dealt with by reprimand or a fine, and that just frustrating as far as that goes. I mean, what else about the JLT? You just go on, really. I mean, it's just a festival. Really.
I'll have a bit of a run at it a bit later on, so I reckon we move on to the next one because it's become a bit of a nothing series, and what are we getting out of it?
No, you're exactly right.
And this just goes to the fact that more and more people gives them more and more people a reason to not want it, to have their best players participating in this pre-season Mickey Mouse sort of stuff, which.
Well, it's not even being televised on free-to-air either.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on. Now, this one you guys might not know about, but I do because I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and I remember this game quite well. So back in 2014, the Dallas Cowboys played off in effectively an elimination final against the Green Bay Packers. So the winner of that game would go into the NFC Championship game, and the winner of that goes into the Super Bowl. Des Bryant took a catch in the end zone with about 5 seconds to go. That was ruled not a catch. So basically they said he didn't have control of it when he hit the ground. Part of the ball touched the ground, so therefore it's not a catch and it's not a touchdown. You lose, Green Bay goes through. Green Bay ended up going through to the Super Bowl that year. Now, 4 years later, the NFL has come out and said, oh, yeah, our bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. Dead set?
They haven't.
They have. They have come out and officially said that was a catch. What is the point of that? What has that accomplished? What has that done except infuriate the entire Dallas Cowboy fans?
It has certainly put the blowtorch on.
I'm absolutely mind blown today when I read that on, it's popped up, see how Dallas Cowboys fans react to this call. I was like, are you dead set serious? There's going to be war.
Why did they do that? That's just, retrospective looking back at a decision and just sort of going, no.
Especially a decision that would have won us the game. I mean, it's not like it was won in the first quarter or something like that would have had no bearing on the later result. It's the most important part of the game where he's taken the diving catch in the dying seconds to win the game. The other thing that's like the West Coast versus Sydney game where you get the West Coast fans say that Sampi was being held. That's like the AFL coming and going, oh, yeah, sorry, we stuffed up on that one. Yeah, no, he should have got the free kick and kicked the goal and won, and you guys should have won. See, good one. No worries, guys.
I've seen it a few times in rugby league in recent times where they interview the boss of the referees every week, and he goes through a couple of the most contentious decisions, and there's a few where he says, yeah, the referee's got that one wrong. But that's the following week, not 3 or 4 years down the track. I mean, there's just no value in doing that. And the fact that the NFL have got a commission that is looking at games from 3 years ago and then making media statements about them says that they're a little bit behind the times, I think.
I'd appreciate a job in that business, I reckon. That'd be pretty cool and get to sit around and watch all the old movies and then...
What do you reckon, Brucey? Yeah, that was a catch. Yeah, okay, no worries.
Put a statement out. My job here is done. They're nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
So, I wasn't happy about that decision. And, the NFL, seriously, I don't know what they're thinking with that one. We'll move on. So, Brucey, you suggested this one.
I'm putting the blowtorch on probably a few brands within the Australian sporting landscape. I am going to have a crack at this a little bit later on in Controversy Corner, but I just can't work out how obscure or non-existent Soccer Australia have become. If they haven't worked out, they're in the middle of a media war versus competing for time in the space right now. They are so far behind the game, it's not funny.
To be fair, I think the FFA is doing a better job than the ARU. I think the Australian Rugby Union, they're almost non-existent.
I haven't seen any of this, but right now we've got basically two codes that are basically going head-to-head, and they're competing for timeline, as we suggested earlier, about where we are sitting and who's starting and who's competing for it. But I'm even hearing people complaining about the JLT is actually chopping into the AFLW's time slots and getting involved with that. So, yeah, I'm just... If Soccer Australia want to be a relevant player in the sporting landscape, as we've spoken about before, you've got to have a viable team in Perth, which you support, which the Force obviously never had. You know, they basically got hung out to dry. The Glory will end up in the same spot. They don't get the sport. They don't get the support from the governing body and everything else behind them. They're gone. They're toast.
They're talking about expansion, and
where?
Yeah, I don't know from where. Like,
that was the other one I wanted to bring. Is like, why are they talking about expansion?
But they
they're
might
not
actually
relevant.
put a team in Tasmania. So we'll get to that later.
Yeah, they're talking about expansion. They're not even relevant in our state right now. I'm not saying we don't support the Glory. I'm just saying we don't even know when the Glory's next game's coming up. Media outlets, anything like that.
No, it is very poorly advertised. The only time I ever know that the Glory's playing is because one of my friends is a big Glory fan, and she usually puts something on Facebook that she's going to the game, and that's how I know that there's a game happening.
Yep. Well, we know it because we're sports fans ourselves, but as far as the media war that's going on right now between all of these codes, we're seeing, where are we? JLT, you know, the Sheffield Shield hasn't even finished yet, still got 2 rounds to go. We're going to be playing footy in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, and it's like you said, we've got the footy. We've got, you know what's actually funny is I think that the women's soccer is probably more highly promoted in this state because of Sam Kerr than the actual Perth Glory is. Like, because she's a local home hero.
Yep.
The Matildas get really pushed hard over here.
Yeah, the Matildas playing Thailand over in Perth. I think it's the first time the Matildas
first time
over
they're ever going to. We're going to get there. $20 a ticket, I looked up. So
that's at NIB Stadium. It should be
26th of March.
I don't know that. I don't think Thailand are probably going to give us too much of a challenge. I wouldn't think, but still a great opportunity to see our own Sam Kerr.
Yeah, no, definitely looking forward to that. We'll have to try and get tickets for that one. Right, we're going to go to a song. We're going to be joined after the break by Ashleigh Woods from the Swan Valley Football Club, the inaugural women's side. They had their first games on the weekend, so we're going to have a talk about that. Just quickly, we're going to have a quick mention for the Swan Valley Netball Club. So netball is kicking off. We've got teams in Ellenbrook, Averley, and there's now the Swan Valley. Well, not now the Swan Valley. I'm sure they've had it for a while, but they've asked for a shout-out. So the netball registrations are open. Year 6, juniors aged 11 to 17, seniors 18 and above. For further details, give Wendy a call on 0438 866 399. The registrations close on the 9th of March. You can check out details on the My Netball app. And training is at the Swan Valley Sporting Club on Wednesday. Registration day is on the Swan Valley Sporting Club on Wednesday, 28th of Feb. Well, that's tonight. Yeah, well, it's there.
Well, you can get all the details on our Facebook page. So you head over to our Facebook page or the Swan Valley Sporting Club page. I'll have the details as well. So plenty of ways to get involved if you want to get involved in netball in this season.
No worries. Well, we'll be back after the break. You're in the Sheds.
On VCA 885 FM, where the Valley comes alive, this is In the Sheds. If you've got something to say about the show or something happening in your community, contact us via Facebook. Back soon.
If you enjoy a game of golf, get some friends together and come along to Checkers Golf Club Bullsbrook for 18 holes on our newly reticulated fairways. For the months of February and March only, green fees and buggy hire are at half our normal rates. Checkers Golf Club are offering a special membership rate at this exclusive, picturesque and friendly country golf club right here on your doorstep in the city of Swan. But get in quick as numbers are limited. For more information and bookings, give Brian a call on 9571 1277. Conditions apply. Station sponsor.
darkness, the coming of the light of day. We're talking about a chosen place. You wanna sell it in a marketplace? Well, just a minute now. Standing on solid rock, standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change blowing down the line. Right down the line. Right about the dawn of time, the dreaming all began. The proud people came, well they were looking for their promised land. Running from the heart of darkness, searching for the heart of light. I think we found paradise. They were standing on solid rock, standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change were blowing cold that night. Oh. Well, they were standing on the shore one day, saw the white sails in the sun. Wasn't long before they felt the sting. White man, white law, white gun. Don't tell me that's justified. Somewhere, someone lied. Yeah, well, someone lied. Someone lied. I can't decide. Someone lied. Oh, and now you're standing on solid rock, standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change are blowing down the line. Solid rock, standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change blowing down the line. Solid rock, oh, sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the winds of change blowing down the line.
This is In the Sheds with Albie, Bracey and Donny on VCA 885 FM, where the Valley comes alive.
That's right, you're in the Sheds. You can hit us up on Twitter at the Sheds 885, or you can send us a message on Facebook. We're now joined by Ashleigh Woods from the Swan Valley Football Club, the inaugural women's side. How are you doing today, Ashleigh?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
How'd you? Pretty exciting inaugural team.
Yeah, really exciting, yeah.
How'd that all go?
The carnival?
Yeah. First game of the year on Saturday. Understand you had a victory for the first game.
Yeah, no, it was great. I've actually played football before, but the rest of the girls, they haven't played.
Yeah, sorry, I meant for the club. Not for you personally. For Swan Valley.
Oh yeah, it went great. We went into our first football game against Coburn.
Yep.
And it was really great. Like for women that have never played before, it was actually amazing to see them get out there and try their best, and we come out with a win, so that was even better.
I heard you kicked the inaugural goal first goal for the Swan Valley women's side.
Yeah, I did. That surprised me as well because I'm usually a ruck or something. So yeah, it was good.
No worries. Also, Jackie Kidman, welcome as well. You've come along with Ashleigh as well. You're part of the Swan Valley women's side. Can you tell us about how everything went?
It was,
obviously, a lot of organisation.
Really, really good. It was sort of something that sort of came about late last year, and the girls all jumped on the idea of playing. And so we've had we've got a group of about 12, 14. We need to double that to go into the season proper. But it was just really good to see those girls out there and to be seeing them in the green and white. It was really, really super.
That was one of the questions I wanted to ask. How have you found participation levels going? I know the AFL's put a lot of effort into grassroots support of that level. How are you finding the levels going and actually getting young girls through the door?
With the new competition the amateurs are just starting up, so this is the first season that the amateurs are actually putting a proper competition in, and that's what we're aiming for. They've actually capped the age. You have to be over 17 to play, and that's because they don't want to take from the youth girls that are coming through. Unfortunately, the youth girls coming through in this area at the moment seem to be around about the 15, 16-year-olds, so we haven't got a group of girls just about ready to...
There's
not a huge pool to draw from, so we are drawing from older girls. I mean, our team, I think we range from 20 to 40, which is super cool.
So, Ashleigh, you said that you're one of the few in the team that has played before. Tell us a little bit about your experience.
With football or with the club?
With football, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I started playing about maybe 4 years ago, and so I played for 4 years. I played for Swan Districts, and then we moved. So then I went over to the East Perth, and it was good. So in 2000, I think it was 15, I made state, and we went over to Brisbane and competed. We got into the grand final, which was good, but we went down to Northern Territory. But I think it was a goal, so that was pretty good. And then from state selections, I made nationals. Then we went to that was held in Mandurah, so that was competition all over Australia. So teams came from there. We were called the Woomeras. It's actually an Aboriginal name. It was pretty good. And yeah, unfortunately we didn't do too well there, but our participation and we gave it a try, and yeah, that's all you can really ask for.
So we've got, you played 3 games in the one day, which is a decent feat in itself. But so defeated Coburn by 15 points, defeated Curtin by 2 points, and unfortunately went down to Nollamara by 3 goals. Yeah. Still 2 out of 3. A bit of a celebration afterwards back at the club rooms.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's one thing the Valley's good for is celebrating afterwards.
How about numbers as far as support? Many people come down.
Yeah, we had quite a few of the guys, the guys who play and support the club, and just people who support the club. I mean, the Valley's actually got a really good culture as far as support and base goes, and we had quite a few down there. It was good.
Now, Jackie, you mentioned that you probably need to double the amount of girls that you've got involved at the moment. So how can you get involved?
Well, we're training on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the Valley in Herne Hill. That's the one on the highway. At 6 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's just come down, have a bit of a laugh, have a bit of a kick, and that's all that we're doing. We're not playing for sheep stations. We're out there to have a bit of fun, get a bit of participation, and see where we can take it.
So, Jackie, how long have you been involved with the Valley for?
I've been involved with the Valley since 1999, and I'm actually a life member of the football club.
So, we've been trying to get the Ellenbrook women's team up and running so we can get a bit of a derby going. Is obviously with you being part of the Valley for as long as you have, you understand the significance of that rivalry.
Very, very big significance. Maybe we can have our own ladies' football.
That's definitely something we've been discussing for a while, because we know that Ellenbrook, I think a little bit further back as far as that. Obviously, they're not playing games just yet, but they're definitely in the motion at the moment. So we might have to talk to you about that, about trying to organise a bit of well, we won't say friendly because we know no game between Ellenbrook and the Valley is friendly, but a grudge match between the Valley and the Ellenbrook girls. I think that'd go down quite a treat. Any highlights from the weekend?
I think Ashleigh's goal. I know I drove down there thinking just as long as we can kick a goal or a point. And as long as nobody breaks a nail. Nobody did. But no, Ashleigh's goal and her hip and shoulder.
That's probably the one that I've probably heard most about, is the tackle on the Nollamara girl who thought she was pretty good.
Oh. I mean, yeah, it was pretty good tackle, but I was just doing it so I can get a free kick, nothing else.
There's no modesty here, talking up. Talk it up.
You can 8'3".
So took her down, got the free kick, and then slotted the goal just to rub some salt in the wounds. Did you let her know about it afterwards?
Oh, of course. Got a bit angry.
Are there any other girls that are basically coming through that we should know about? We keep our eye out. We love promoting local sport here in Ellenbrook and also in the Swan Valley itself. So, is there any other promotions people you want to talk up that we?
Oh,
we love a bandwagon. We go on.
Okay. Well,
we love it.
The Valley is holding a ladies' night on the 17th of March on St Paddy's Day, up at the Valley, open to all girls. They can contact the club for tickets. Should be a really, really good night, and we don't mind if the Ellenbrook ladies want to come either. So,
as long as they're joining our team.
So, what do you mean, ladies' night? Are we talking ladies' night? So, for strictly
for women.
Yes. Okay, that's all right.
No worries. Well, we'll put something for that up on our Facebook page. With the games on the weekend, how long were the quarters?
It was
3 games.
AFLX, so it was 2 10-minute halves. So
yeah, still, well, that's six 10-minute halves then.
Yes. So it's like almost a full game over the morning. So yeah, it was good.
First hit out of the season, you pull up a little bit sore?
Oh yeah, I think I'm still feeling it kind of in my legs.
Yeah, the bruises and the pictures have been going up on the private messenger page that we've got going, and there's fingers and feet.
Yeah.
So where to from here? So what is there games on this weekend as well? Or?
No, that was basically it was just a little carnival that was put together by, I'm not even sure who started the carnival. From here we go to nominations middle of March, and then we have a grading carnival because they're hoping to have 2 grades for the women's competition in the amateurs this season. So we go to a grading carnival on the 8th of April, and then the games will start a couple of weeks after that.
And how, with training, like you said, it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, how are you finding numbers at training at the moment?
We're normally getting around about, we only got 6 or 5.5 there on Tuesday after the game. But we normally got about 10 to 12. As we said, we could really do with doubling the numbers. So if there's any girls out there that would like to have a head out, love to have them down.
Now, one of my favourite things to ask when you talk about people who have never played footy before is, have you had any rugby girls come through or anyone like that that's just basically thrown the ball and you guys can all have a bit of a joke about it afterwards, or any kind of cross-code players who try to do something a bit different that you go, oh no, not that?
We've got an American on the team, so she's not used to handballing. She's one of the ones with the bruises on her hands after handballing, because she's used to throwing the ball like they do in gridiron. And Vicky's a soccer player, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
So the ball hits the ground, she's not picking it up.
No, she's good too. She's very good.
No worries. Ash, we spoke about that you played for East Perth and Swan districts. What's brought you over to the Valley?
I stopped playing football for a bit to start working.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't getting money with football. But we moved out to Ellenbrook, and I have an uncle that's a part of the Swan Valley, and he told me just to come down and give it a try. And because I've actually been wanting to play football for a long time, I just went down there, and yeah, it's fantastic. It's like, on my first day, it feels like family. We felt like a big family. It's just like a friendly place to be. They bring their kids down, their husbands down. You all interact with everyone, and yeah, you don't feel out of place for nothing. So I think that's the type of thing you want when you're with a football team, is to feel a part and not left out. Or that's exactly what I feel there. So I'm going to stick there. I'm going to stay there.
And how have you found the obviously the men are training on a Tuesday, Thursday as well? They've been supportive, getting involved, everything, all the rest of it.
Yeah, we sort of got our own little space on the oval, and so we don't actually train with them as such. But we've had a couple of the old coaches come, like the old legend coaches, come down and assist. Dingo, who's coaching us, has been at the club since '99 as well, and you know he's a life member there, and he coached colts and reserves and things. So yeah, we've got a really good backup there with the boys.
No worries. Well, if you want to get involved, make sure you check out the Facebook page. The Swan Valley has a football Facebook page now as well.
Does, yep.
Yeah, we're having a few problems actually sharing. Like when we try to tag you guys in it, it just doesn't. I don't know why it doesn't let us do it.
There's actually two pages. One's completely private and one is open. So
yeah, the open one, it won't let us share it.
No.
Yeah, it won't let us tag for some reason. Not quite sure why.
We're trying to fix that. Yeah.
Yeah, but make sure you get involved. Check out the Swan Valley Football Club. The women's team, obviously two wins and the one loss, but still we've got to be pretty happy with that first time round. Also, I'd be in trouble if I didn't mention. Apparently, Nola was the first disposal getter. She wanted that mentioned, so.
Yeah, she had a handball.
Yeah, she was pretty. I said to her, what can you tell us about Ashleigh? Like, how'd she play on the weekend? She goes, well, she got the first goal, but I got the first disposal. So
she was the first one to get her hair pulled as well.
So she was, yeah. Did she get it free? She get a free for
She did.
Fantastic. Look, it sounds like a lot of fun. If you want to get involved in women's footy, make sure you check it out. Get involved, and hopefully down the track we can get a Ellenbrook Swan Valley grudge match underway, and I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Good to hear.
No worries. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, having a chat about the game and about how everything's going to progress. All right, we'll be back in a moment.
On VCA 885 FM, where the Valley comes alive, this is In the Sheds. If you've got something to say about the show or something happening in your community, contact us via Facebook. Back soon.
Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? You've been out riding fences for so long now. Oh, you're a hard one, but I know that you got your reasons. These things that are pleasing you can hurt you somehow. Don't you draw the queen of diamonds, boy. She'll beat you if she's able. You know the queen of hearts is always your best bet. Now it seems to me some fine things have been laid upon your table, but you only want the ones that you can't get. Desperado, oh, you ain't getting no younger. Your pain and your hunger, they're driving you home. And freedom, oh, freedom, well, that's just some people talking. Your prison is walking through this world all alone. Don't your feet get cold in the wintertime? The sky won't snow and the sun won't shine. It's hard to tell the nighttime from the day. You're losing all your highs and lows. Ain't it funny it's too
Ellenbrook IGAs are open 7 days a week with great service and weekly specials. Both Woodlake Village and Aveleigh IGAs are open from 6 a.m. until 12 midnight. Look for their latest catalogue in your mailbox or online at www.iga.net.au. Some of IGA's big deal specials this week include chicken drumsticks, $3.99 a kilo, McCain man-size meals, 450 to 500 gram, $4.25 each, loose washed potatoes, 1 kilo, $1.79, red or green festival lettuce, $1.99, and South Cape cheddar cheese, 140 gram, $4.49. These big deal specials are available at both Woodlake Village and Aveleigh IGA, who are major sponsors of Radio VCA 88.5 FM.
This is In the Sheds with Albie, Brucey and Donny on VCA 885 FM, where the Valley comes alive.
That's right, you're in the Sheds. You can hit us up on Twitter at the Sheds 885 or send us a message on Facebook. Thanks again to Ashleigh and Jackie from the Swan Valley Football Club. If you want to get involved in women's footy, then definitely one to check out. It already started off and 2 wins out of 3, already off to a good start. We are going to get stuck into the controversy corner, and I didn't even play the little intro, but I'm sure we'll survive.
Stinger.
Oh, I'll tell you what, mate. Here we go.
It's time the boys got serious. Strap yourself in for Controversy Corner.
All right, we get into the controversy corner. Brucey, this one has been bugging you all day.
I've got a few on these ones, but we've basically first things first. Channel 9 are basically going to the upcoming contract regarding the media for the coverage of the cricket season, and they're basically saying we want the BBL. They want the BBL as their commentary in their ranks, and yeah, they want to take it off Channel 10. 4 or 5 years ago, when the BBL contract was basically up, they said no. It was struggling, it was dead. They didn't want to know about it. Channel 10 picked it up, turned it into this behemoth that we've got right now, and now they want to come to the table, and now they're saying, oh, if you're not even going to include it into the package of the Test cricket and everything else like that, it's all or nothing. So I'm just going, you're kidding me.
Well,
Could you
nothing?
Well, that's it exactly.
That's my
Channel
opinion.
Channel 10, take it up. Because could you imagine having? I think I texted you boys the other day about certain commentators who were on the 9 commentary. My ears were going to fall off. I'm not listening to this. Can you imagine having them in the BBL? That's just... Yeah, stick fat with it. Please, Cricket Australia, stick fat with it. You know, Channel 10 have made it. They've made this cash cow for you. Don't turn around and give it to Channel 9 just because their burnt-out racehorses are looking for something to salvage their reputations out of.
And if there's one thing we do enjoy, it's the Channel 9 commentary team as well. So that would be super exciting on the Channel 10 with the Big Bash as well.
Oh, God, yeah. There's Mark Nicholas, and you know, I admit they do. Channel 9 are moving to refresh their commentary team, but yeah, there's one sure way to kill BBL off. That's to give it to Channel 9.
You imagine
their commentary team will kill that sport.
There's not enough overs in the game for Shane Warne to sit there and talk about skin care or hair care products like that. I mean, how the hell are they going to handle this?
I'm not sure. But yeah, it's surely they've got to take some responsibility for the sport and think, hey, what's the best? What's going to make this thing? I know Channel 9 have been carrying the can for Test cricket for how many years? If they're losing money, okay. You've got to have a look at it and see what you can do. If they're dragging your sport down, thanks, Channel 9. We're off somewhere else. We're going in a different direction.
At the end of the day, Cricket Australia, they've got to do what's best for the game of cricket. They've
Absolutely.
got to do whatever the best thing is, and you know, if that's about getting the most money that they can, or whether that's about giving the broadcast rights to the team that actually people want to watch.
Well, that would be a scary thing right now, is that they'd be looking at it from a point of view of what's generating the most amount of sport income in that sport. It's not Test cricket. I wouldn't have thought. It'd be the BBL. It'd be IPL in India. It'd be those T20 franchise based cricket series that'd be generating the most amount of income, not into Cricket Australia, but into the series itself. And some of those things are broadcast rights based. So,
as much as that hurts me as a Test cricket purist, I'm not a great lover of the BBL or the 2020 format. But
I think they've gone out the other side where 10 games was probably ideal, and this is something else I was trying to. The controversy is just how much time is both sports trying to cross over into the other one, and I think some of it is to the detriment of the product you're supplying, because I think we're up to 14 games per team in the BBL, and it's now at that point sometimes it's just losing its impact, where short series, crack, couple of games, we're into the finals, 2 games, done. We've got a premiere, off we go.
They got into the finals this year, and school had already gone back. So all of a sudden, the people that have been going all through the school holidays, they can't go to the finals.
They've got this cash cow, and they're going, let's go longer. I feel it's also devaluing it as well. So. Same thing. AFL going the other way, pushing JLT out, pushing AFLW out, and people are only have so much viewing time available to them every day.
And don't we all know that, because we try and watch it all and we just can't.
Yeah, that's it. And we can't fit more in. It just devalues what you're watching. So, and it becomes, rather than I'm sitting down watching a certain sport from point A to the finish, to I've got it in the background and I'm flicking, or I'm watching it as I walk past. So the whole media war that is currently underway is it could be a detriment to even the franchises that are actually waging this war.
You're right, because I remember with the Big Bash the last few years, I've probably watched close to every single match, where this year was just too much. I just didn't care. By the time
you haven't got time.
No, and I just didn't care. It was just dragged on for too long. And they talk about with the AFL and stuff like that, they want to make this season longer and that. No, they already have with AFLX and JLT. To be honest, I thought AFLX meant that we weren't going to have JLT, so I didn't mind. But now that I know that we've got AFLX, we've got JLT and the AFL season, followed by the Collingwood end of season trip, there's just too much footy happening. So
the behemoth that is the AFL as a whole, it's obviously got it's got to protect its own entity and its own timeline. But when it's pushing out the other side of September, well and truly, into October, trying to extend how long it becomes a relevant entity in the media space, here we are. We're 4 weeks away, and it's too much. It just becomes static almost in the background of your day. I think it's actually devaluing the product. It's almost cheapening it. Someone said to me, you could go like the American baseball series. That's 128 games. So that's fantastic. 128 games during the season. How many people actually watch all 128 games? No one does. It doesn't mean more is better.
No. And it does get to the point. We're coming up towards round 1. It feels like almost to the point where you haven't had an off season in the AFL.
Correct.
And before a ball's even been kicked, you're almost over it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with Alvy as well. It's like it's still cricket season.
Yeah.
The Sheffield Shield. I want to listen to the Sheffield Shield. Next thing I'm getting AFL.
No, you're right, and on that note, we're going to talk about AFL on the next topic.
So these are all mine, people. So work with me. How can we go and spend $2.8 billion on a Gold Coast franchise in a state which doesn't care about our sport? They've never been a foundation sport. And, yeah, we're losing teams in Tasmania. There's 2 teams in the Tasmanian State League who are dead. They're gone. They can't put together a team for this year. They can't have they're not going to compete. Apparently, their player payment salary for the year is $80,000. That's all they can pay players to play in the State League in Tasmania, and we're spending $2.8 billion in these other states. Why are we? I understand that we need to branch our sport out into other areas, but surely we can look after a grassroots state and look after a state that has supported our clubs. We're sending 2 AFL teams down there to play footy games per... How many games have they got down there? 4, 5 each?
Yeah, about 5 each, yeah.
4 or 5 each? So, and now apparently, I don't know, no one's actually come back with any information on it regarding how the money's distributed, but apparently grassroots football in Tasmania, they don't see a cent out of those games going down there.
That's very disappointing.
That is very disappointing.
You're just going, come on, people, get in there, do something. And
to be fair, AFL Tasmania haven't done themselves a lot of favours. The North and South don't talk to each other. They're like war twins. It's a fractious relationship within this tiny state. If they can sort out their differences and come together as one entity, then you might see a future for Tasmanian footy. But
grassroots footy always seems to get the backlash on anything, because I heard a conversation not long ago talking about how with the AFL, if a player gets recruited in the draft, it's not the club that spent the last 10 years developing that player. It'll be, someone like from the back end of not Ben Cubbon, like Burracoppin or something in Merredin. They play all their footy out there,
yep.
And then they come to East Perth or whoever the alignment is for 1 year. They get drafted, and East Perth gets the money.
Yep.
Why don't these grassroots clubs that spent all that time and effort? You imagine what that money would do for those type of clubs, and how much it could help other kids develop and get into a position where they could go to the waffle clubs. I just don't understand why they're not getting a piece of the pie at all, and why not helping
give them something of the pie.
Yeah, give them something.
And it has been a bit of a... People say, Tasmania's produced X amount of good players. So be it, but yeah.
They're not going to produce much more if we don't have a team. I mean, Jack Rewalt's he's a Tassie
Brown.
Boy. Yeah.
There's many AFL players who have come from Tasmania, but and I suppose just do something in that area, because if you neglect a grassroots area but focus it somewhere else, if that fails, your grassroots, that may be gone.
Yeah, I suppose the argument from AFL was always that there wasn't a lot of value for them in preaching to the converted, so to speak, as Tasmania was always going to be an AFL state. It was always going to be AFL focused. They were already fans. They didn't need to convert them, so they went to areas where, like Western Sydney and the Gold Coast. But at the same time, when you look and you see the grassroots now are dying, and they're not able to get players in Launceston and places like that, which you would think would be a real heartland. It seems ridiculous that they can't get enough players to field a team.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to go to another song. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Phil Beaman from the Ellenbrook Football Club, the newly appointed Colts coach. We're back after this.
On VCA 885 FM, where the Valley comes alive, this is In the Sheds. If you've got something to say about the show or something happening in your community, contact us via Facebook. Back soon.
G'day, Graham Ross with the Autumn Garden Clinic. Do you know where popular herbs and spices come from? For example, vanilla is derived from the seed pods of a tropical orchid. Cloves are the sun-dried flower buds of an Indonesian lily pilly. And licorice is a juice extracted from the roots of a Chinese desert herb. Everyone knows that coffee comes from the roasted beans of the coffee tree, 43 to be exact. But did you know tea, the world's most popular beverage, is made from the dried leaves of a camellia plant? And cinnamon, it comes from the ground bark of a Sri Lankan tree. Pepper comes from the seed of the berries of an Indian vine. And nutmeg is the dried seed of a tree from the West Indies. And these are just the tip of an iceberg list. The Australian herbal bounty would take several days to list. Till next time, good gardening from Graham Ross and the Autumn Garden Clinic.
If you're looking for a second vehicle or just want to update your existing vehicle, then visit the new dealership in Ellenbrook, Focus on Cars, located at 312 the Broadway, Ellenbrook. Focus on Cars have quality late model vehicles with the best range and prices. Trade-ins are welcome and finance and warranties are available. Focus on Cars also have replacement parts and tyres. Give Nevin at Focus on Cars a call on 0450 910 130. Dealer licence 25417. Station sponsor.
Hi there, this is Dr. James Wright. My topic today is hangovers. Question is there a simple herbal remedy for hangovers? A long, warm soak in the bath with 6 drops of essential rosary oil may help. Excessive alcohol can damage the liver, so St Mary's Thistle tincture may assist. Drink lots of water or dandelion coffee, as grog dehydrates the brain and is a diuretic. Take vitamin B complex tablet twice a day. Best remedy? The Chinese recommend 150 grams of fresh strawberries. Take your pick. For more details about this and heaps of other medical topics, simply visit my wonderful website, docwright.com.au. Bye for now. I'm your friend, Dr. James Wright.
This is In the Sheds with Albie, Brucey and Donny on VCA 885 FM, where the valley comes alive.
That's right, you're in the Sheds. You can hit us up on Twitter at the Sheds 885 or send us a message on Facebook about anything we've discussed tonight. Welcome to Phil Beaman from the Ellenbrook Eagles Football Club. Beamo, you've been appointed the Colts coach, newly appointed. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Thanks for having me on the show. It's a good challenge for me and something that I look forward to.
Now, this only came about in the last few weeks. Kind of tell us what happened. How did
actually? I saw your post on your page actually, and been coaching for the last couple of years. Unfortunately, my guys, as it happens in most juniors, we didn't get a Year 12 side, so I was keen to get back into coaching, and when the job come up at Ellenbrook, to get back to that club is something that I was jumping at, so it was really good.
So you've been coaching the last couple of years. You won a flag with Kingsway, I believe.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to walk into a really good side. Had some really good players. I think a few of them are at waffle level now. So it was a really good year we had. So, but to get up to Colts is obviously another challenge.
Now you've had your first session with the guys. How'd it go?
We all train together. So league and reserves and Colts train together. We're getting quite good numbers. So everything's looking positive. So we're looking forward to a good year.
So your league numbers, obviously your numbers are looking fairly positive. Are you looking for more numbers, or are we?
We're definitely looking for. We're always looking for more players, as every amateur club would. But I suppose it's still early on the year. They're all filter down closer to practice matches. We've got a couple coming up in 3 weeks, I believe. So be a good guide of where we're at that stage.
You got any standouts at the moment? Any kids that have sort of caught your eye in the first training sessions?
No, it's a bit early for that yet. I'm still getting a feel of the place as well, learning everyone's names and where everyone's at. I mean, that's probably where we're at with practice matches. We'll see where everyone's fits in.
Many familiar faces around the club that you remember from your time there?
Probably Snars is probably the only one left. I don't know how he keeps going, but
Magic.
He looks like he hasn't missed a beat.
No, he doesn't.
So, Yeah, we got a bit of a story about Albie when he played. You probably know.
May have been. Is it a good story or what?
It's a good story.
It's a good story.
Is it radio friendly?
I remember, he looks pretty young still, but you imagine 15 years ago, when running out for Ellenbrook when we were one club side. I remember it must have been some either Anzac game or a milestone game. Ran through the banner, umpires holding up the ball, and why isn't he starting? And he's pointing to Albie. Your mascot's still on the field. That's how young you look back then. So it may or may not be true, but
we're running with it here now. We've never let the truth get in the way of any story so far on the show. So,
thanks for that one, Beamo. Yes.
So how is pre-season going anyway? Are we? Are you getting involved in pre-season? Are you one of those hatchies / I'm going to?
Am I training myself?
Are you training and just get involved, or are you absolutely just smashing them and then enjoying watching everyone chuck up?
I have a hard enough time picking up the cones at the end of the night. But no.
So that's a no then?
No. I do a few handballs here and there, but I could do with a bit of training.
No. We're all specimens, mate.
But the boys are starting in their doing their sprints and stuff now, so we're sort of ramping it up a bit.
Are the balls out yet? We got.
Oh yeah.
Kick around. That was one of the things that always pre-season drove me nuts. Is you got to get the footies out early, but apparently,
No, most of the training's centred around ball work, so we get our fitness in through the longer drills. But yeah, definitely the skills are high, which is good this time of the year.
So the Colts went pretty far in the finals last year. A pretty positive feel around the club that can go a bit further this year?
Oh, we're always positive. Obviously, last year's side, I think, were at their age limit. So we lose a lot of that core players. They will take the next step up as far as the age group. So this year and definitely the next couple of years, there's going to be a big, strong player base from the juniors coming up. So, yeah, there's a good future ahead for the Eels, that's for sure.
And that's the important thing is with the strong junior base, you're going to have those players filtering through to fill the league and resi side as they get older. And as you said, with the success of the Ellenbrook Dockers, the juniors, must be pretty good feel with all the young guys coming up through the club.
Yeah, from what we hear, the next 2 or 3 years especially, there's a great bunch of players coming up. So if we can nab, at least half of them coming through the seniors, the next few years in the Eels should be successful. So one thing that we're looking forward to, obviously the Eels haven't won a premiership as far as the top grade. So to be a part of that in any sort of shape, whether you're a Colts coach or whether you're a water runner, to be part of that club when we finally crack it, that's something that's everyone should be looking forward to.
No worries. Now, one of the questions we asked you already, and it's one that Brucey suggested, is has there been a investment in clipboards?
No, my temper's fairly good on the sidelines. I had to rein in a bit. Coaching juniors, obviously, they're pretty strict on that sort of stuff, so I have calmed down a bit. You're probably referring to my footy watching.
It was mainly just to one comment about how the TV remotes were no longer available within the house due to the number of TVs that you were going through.
Yeah, I have broken. I don't watch live footy anymore. That's a fact. I don't. I can't watch Geelong live, so I watch them. I just get the score updates on my phone. That's probably safer for the kids and the household.
Love that. That's great. Always love the passion about supporting your club, but yeah.
I was going to say
when you're demoing TVs at a regular basis and your missus has to take the remotes out of the room.
TVs, heaters, and a few other bits and pieces have gone by the wayside.
I actually do remember a few little outbursts on the sidelines when we were playing. If a decision hadn't gone our way, get a little bit upset at the umpire. So it's good to see that you're being professional towards the umpires in a coaching position.
I was just concerned for clipboards, mate.
No,
That's
we
all
love
it
the
was.
umpires. Umpires do a great job.
Absolutely. Without them, we haven't got a game. So, just clipboards. There's plenty of them. Heaps of them. You can learn them as much as you want to.
Yeah, that's it.
Back to footy. How would you describe your coaching style? Are you a tactician? Or are you a motivator? Disciplinarian?
I'm a bit in between. I'm not a screamer, that's for sure. I don't think that nowadays that doesn't go a long way with the young blokes. I'm pretty. I'll take a step back and really focus on what each player can do as far as their skills. You get players that will have, 2, 3, 4 X factors in their game. Some might only have one. Some might be a good tackler. Some might be a good marker. So that's something, especially in juniors, I focused on, was getting the best out of whatever attributes they had, and work with it.
So basically, not asking them to do anything they can't, they're not able to do. Identify those, and they're good points.
Yeah, Colts level. I mean, they're at a level now where some of them are 19, 20, so they've already got their skill base, and it's just a matter of getting the best out of, if they've got speed, getting the best out of that. If they've got a big body, and teach them where to position and all that sort of stuff.
How have the kids responded? Well, sorry, not the kids. How have the Colts responded to your pre-season and training as opposed to Sales, who Paul Saylor, I imagine, would have ran them all into the ground and then taken them for another 2 laps afterwards just to rub salt in the wounds?
I'm pretty fortunate at the moment. We all train together. So Woodsy takes the training. We're all involved. Me and Kevin. And we help out. So at the moment, it's a good thing because they get to train with the league players and puts a bit of pressure on them to get their skills up because they don't want to stuff up in front of their league guys. So that's how we sort of run things at the moment.
And will you, once the season kicks off, will you take over as far as doing the coaching, or is it kind of going to be a Colts and league together?
I think the way Woodsy likes to run it, we sort of train a bit together to start with, and then we break off. So it gives him a good look at my young players. If he wants to bring any up, has a look at them, see if they're up to the grade, and it helps any time that they can train with the league at that age. It's going to benefit them as far as their skills.
No worries. All right, well, thanks for coming down, Beamo, having a chat. Is there any events coming up for the Ellenbrook Eels that we need to be mindful of?
Yeah, we've got intra-club match coming up in a couple of weeks at Holy Cross. And then we've got our scratch matches against Nolamara, I think, or one of them teams. Stirling it might be. But we've got that coming up in 2 or 3 weeks. So anyone that's looking to come on board, you'd want to come to training. At the moment, we train at the DOS home ground and on Tuesday nights, and at the moment we're training at Woodlake Oval on Thursday night, 6 o'clock. So anyone's willing to have a kick and come down. We've got the top grade and reserves, but we've also got the third grade as well, and the old blokes running around. So. But no, it's a great club to be back into. So,
no worries. How many of the old faces are down at the Masters, or are we past that now as well, where it's probably even too old for Masters?
No, we're never too old for Masters. There's still, I think Wardy still keep messaging me and trying to get me down. But as I said, I'm a few kilos over that. But no, they have a great time. They never lose a game, apparently. So.
We have heard that. They haven't lost one. So, although the one what was the fifth year one was the other team lost their score for having too many players on the ground, and that was to mark the 5 years of being undefeated.
Oh well, there you go.
So anyway, that's how you get. It's all about the wins, all about the wins and losses. So and they've got the wins. Thank you very much for coming down, Beamo, having a chat to us. Congratulations on the appointment as the Colts coach. It's actually pretty humbling to know that you put in for it because it's something that we did. So that's, we did something right for once.
You contributed to the Eels, that's for sure.
That's it. Fantastic. Thank you very much for coming down, mate. Good luck for the season. Hopefully the Colts boys kick off and have a good season like they did last year, and hopefully the Eels can have the senior guys can have a follow on from last year and go on and get that elusive premiership. We're looking forward to finding out how everything goes as the season progresses. We'll be back after this and we'll get stuck into a few more cricket results and into Get Around them.
On VCA 885 FM, where the Valley comes alive, this is In the Sheds. If you've got something to say about the show or something happening in your community, contact us via Facebook. Back soon. This is In the Sheds with Albie, Brucey and Donny on VCA 885 FM, where the Valley comes alive.
That's right, you're in the Sheds. You can hit us up on Twitter at the Sheds 885, or you can send us a message on Facebook at the same address if you have an opinion on anything. If you want to get around the Swan Valley women's side, or want to, tell some more embarrassing stories about me at the Ellenbrook Heels like BMO just did for us. Yeah, thanks for that one.
Good work, BMO.
Yeah, good on you. I hope your team doesn't do too well. I hope you lose every match and get the sack, BMO, for that story. No,
the truth often hurts.
Yeah. All right, let's get stuck into the Ellenbrook Rangers. We reported on one of the games, and actually we might start with that one. We will get into the first grade and third grade games, but I just want to mention the B grade purely because Quinton George, one of the captain for the club, played his 100th game for the Ellenbrook Rangers. Now, up until this week, Quinton's top score was 99. He was caught on the boundary and hasn't quite ever made it back to that elusive 100. Made 103 in his 100th game and managed to get his team over the line. Darlington scored 10 for 164, while Ellenbrook 4 for 236. Josh Bibby also with 36, and Werner Senecal with 29. And Senecal also with 2 for 42 in the bowling. Kerry Archer with 2 for 26. And Gurvinder Singh 3 for 23. But the other thing that makes it such a good story is he didn't even get to celebrate. It was his brother's 60th, and he's had to go to that, so he didn't even get to have a drink afterwards to celebrate his first ton for the club.
So he's been with the club a long time. He's been with the club almost 10 years. And
he wrote their club song.
Yeah, so he's been there a long time, and this is the first time he's got into three figures. It's a fantastic achievement.
Yeah, and obviously getting the win as well. Fantastic effort. So congratulations to Quinton George, 103 not out in his 100th game, and wrote the song for the club. So I heard that they will be having a delayed celebration this Saturday back at the club. So if you are a supporter of the Rangers, it's definitely one to get around and get down there and have a drink and celebrate a great knock by the great captain. Right, let's get into the first grade, and we've got the 2-day games at Ellenbrook, at the DOS, and it's in progress. Donny, how are we looking?
Yeah, it's not quite as get around them, this one. This is a little bit sad. So our slim finals hopes, well, basically not much chance of playing finals in the top grade anyway, but they've pretty much been dashed by Rolleston Carrigallen on day one. Mitch Stewart basically destroyed, has taken 6 for 18, and it was only Ryland Canal, who's quite often been one of our, I think, the only blokes with the bat sort of standing tall. He made 40, but yeah, we didn't make too many, and they've come out and they're already past our score, 5 for 113. Trent Stewart, the brother of Mitch, I assume, got his third half century of the summer. He's 58 not out, so they're well in front. On a positive note, the bloke we had in last week, Aaron Diss, took all 5 wickets. They're 5 for 113, and Aaron he's got all 5 for 40. He's copped a bit, but he's got to keeps getting them out. So they'll push for the outright, I'm sure, on day 2. But not the best place for our boys to be in, and not something Forestfield wanted to see either, because they're the team in 5th that are also sort of battling to get that last spot in the finals, and it doesn't look likely now.
Yeah, definitely. We'll move on to the third grade. Middle Swan, Ellenbrook took on Middle Swan at the Jackman Oval, and again, this game is in progress at the moment. So Ellenbrook, lot better position in this one, 4 for 208 with a declaration on that one.
That was off 35 overs, so they basically came out, they decided from ball 1 that they were going to go for basically the outright win, hit 208 off 35 overs, and then put Middle Swan 78s in for the second half of the day.
Yeah, it's Sean Saunders, 63 off 60, Andrew McGlinchey, 57 not out off 34, and Brandon Morton, 37 off 55. Everyone kind of contributing there. Middle Swan, the 4 of the wickets, Brucey.
1 for 6, 2 for 6, 3 for 7, 4 for 7. That's not a great start anyway.
No. It's not ideal.
5 for 13, 6 for 13, and 7 for 16. So they've had a collapse of epic proportions right there. So
they're actually lucky to be on 7 for 42, to be honest.
Yeah, they've dug in the 8th wicket to get the 7 for 42. But day 2, all we need is 3 for 166 or better, and it's an outright win.
Yeah.
And once again, Bailey Saunders 4 for 10 off 6, and Sean Saunders 3 for 7 off 7. This father-son battle is just keeps going on and on, doesn't it? It's the epic battle of which one's the alpha, and it's Sean's got the runs as well. So sorry, Bailey, got to get more wickets, mate. All right, let's move on to the C grade with the final match. Unfortunately, Ellenbrook going down in this one. Rolling Stone 10 for 97, defeating Ellenbrook 10 for 60 off only 24 and a half overs.
Knocked them over for 97, you would have been pretty confident, but then lose by 37 runs.
Yeah, not fantastic. Corey Semmons 32, Hayden Adcock with 13. And in the bowling, Hayden Adcock with 4 for 10 off 8, so he definitely did his part. Riley Watson 2 for 32 off 8, and Joel Wendon 2 for 9 off 4.1 overs. Disappointing. Like you said, you'd expect going in that bowling them for 97, you'd be pretty comfortable, especially seeing they've bowled them before their overs. Like, they've bowled them for 36. Michael King, he's been absolutely phenomenal this year and bowled for a golden duck. First ball of the day. First ball of the innings. And I would dare say, if we went back through the stats, probably his first duck this year.
I think you'd probably be right. He's been the standout in that grade, and very unusual to see him dismissed cheaply at all, let alone first ball duck. But it can happen to the best of them.
Yeah, definitely the best of us, yeah.
And the worst, yeah.
Yeah, best and the worst. Okay, we'll be back in a moment. We're going to talk about the Ellenbrook Rabbitohs and their senior trial upcoming, and the West Coast Pirates. You're in the sheds.
On VCA 885 FM, where the valley comes alive, this is In the Sheds. If you've got something to say about the show or something happening in your community, contact us via Facebook. Back soon.
Join Davey every Sunday 4 to 6 p.m. on Radio VCA 88.5 FM for his show Blues in the Valley. If you're a fan of the blues, 88.5 is the place for you.
This is In the Sheds with Albie, Brucey and Donnie. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter at The Sheds 885.
That's right, you're in the sheds. Hit us up on Twitter at the Sheds 885. Send us a message on Facebook. It's time to talk rugby. Donnie, how the Ellenbrook Rabbitohs, they're training. They've got a senior trial coming up.
Yeah, so training times and dates and all that sort of stuff have been set for all the juniors. So under 9s Mondays and Wednesdays from 6:30, and under 12s Wednesdays and Fridays from 5:30. Under 13s at 6:30 Mondays and Wednesdays. Under 14s Sunday at 9:30 in the morning. Girls league tag and girls tackle are training together Mondays and Fridays at 5:30, and the under 18s train with the senior men. That's on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30, and the women Mondays and Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. The under 6s and 7s start on the 14th of March. The under 8s on the 21st of March. The under 11s, they start tonight. So they're probably not listening to the show. Wednesdays
Outrageous.
and Fridays from 5 p.m. If they're you are listening from now on. Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. And the 16s start on the 9th of March on Fridays.
Do you know how they're going for numbers so far?
I think in most grades they're pretty good. I think under 18s is always it's always difficult to get numbers. The more that we can get, the better. We haven't had an under-18s team the last 2 seasons, so I know there's a lot of people in the background trying really hard to make sure that we do have an 18s team in 2018. We didn't have an under-16s last year either, so that makes it hard when the next level down you don't have them coming through. So those sort of older age groups with the boys, they seem to have a few other things on their mind, and sports tends to be something that falls by the wayside quite often. So that's something. Hopefully we can get some numbers for those. But generally speaking, I think certainly the younger age groups, numbers are really good.
Whereabouts are you training at, mate? Where can people get around here? Go into the club rooms? And...
So it's down at Arbor Grove Primary School, or next to Arbor Grove Primary School there, Charlotte's Vineyard. Down there, for, as I said, for the senior men, it's Tuesdays and Thursday nights from 6:30. Got the liquor licence and all that sort of stuff's all sorted now, so we didn't have that last year, so it creates a bit more of an atmosphere after training, so people can stick around. And
how's your, on a personal note, how's your pre-season going? Are we?
It's just about finished. Work and everything else has got too busy, and I sort of haven't trained for a while now, so maybe I'll get back into it.
Eventually it is going to come for me. I know Karma's got a bus out. I do need to pick a sport and sort of try and do it, but until I do that, I'm going to sledge you two.
I was going to say, okay. you've got the netball shirt on, you've got the Ellenbrook United hat on, the soccer hat.
I am keen to play netball. I do like netball. I do like playing basketball, but I
was actually thinking before, it's probably... Usually you're the only one that doesn't have a sporting shirt on, and this week you're the only one that does.
Yeah, that's true. I dropped the ball this week.
It is. Yeah.
You've gone all out with sports as well. You're, even your water bottle has a Ellenbrook Rangers stubby holder that we did present to you tonight because you weren't here last week when Aaron Diss came in.
Thank you very much for that. It's Dave Reeves. It's his inaugural 200-game stubby holder / water bottle cooler that we've got here. So thank you very much.
Yep. Quick shout out to the Rangers. So thanks for that.
And you did briefly mention that the senior trial. So on the 17th of March, the senior team, last I heard, they're playing a trial against the Willagee Bears, who are. They won the reserve grade competition last year, and they're moving from reserve grade up to first grade this year, and it should be a really good challenge for our senior team to go in against a team that's looking to compete in first grade this year. So again, probably like the game against the under-19s a couple of weeks ago, perhaps not one that they're looking to win, but will be a good solid hit out for the boys, and they're really looking to test themselves during the pre-season, which is good.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting to see how they go. Like you said, after the last trial match, we'll be watching this one. The
Pirates?
Yeah, the Pirates, sorry. Got lost there for a moment. Yeah, the West Coast Pirates. Now, you talked about their membership packages.
Yeah, so I mentioned it briefly last week. Just sort of still pushing it. There's an option, a way to get involved with the local Western Australian Rugby League. Obviously, we're trying to push to get the brand name out there and sort of build that up and hopefully build towards getting our own NRL team. At the moment, they're competing in the New South Wales Under-18s competition. They've got a home game this weekend down in Fremantle, Ken Allen Field, against the Illawarra Steelers, who are a really big rugby league region. So that's at 11 o'clock next Saturday. But there's membership packages starting from as low as $50 for the junior Pirates. You can also be a Pirate crew member. Gives you free entry to all home games. You get a club polo, cap, membership card, lanyard, sticker, weekly edition of the Pirate Scroll. Crowy's having a lot of fun with the names. He's got the Stranded Pirates member, so if you don't live in Western Australia, you're not listening to this show, but there's an option for you as well. And then the Pirates Captains Club member, which gives you entry to the grand final and season launch, all these sorts of extra events. So that's like the premium package. That one's only $129.
I was going to say, considering you get a club polo and the cap and everything, they're actually not too badly priced. You know, I know the AFL memberships now, you pay about $250 and you get a bumper sticker. So.
Yeah, in terms of value for money.
Trust me, I know. Being a loyal Essendon member, the packages and the remuneration we get from the Essendon Football Club has been diminishing greatly over the years for what you spend.
Well, I remember getting Corey an Essendon membership, and I got one the same year, and he's cost me about $25, and you know, basically a truck rocked up and just unloaded merchandise on my front yard, and I got a card.
Yeah.
So, you know,
yeah,
and it was about 8 times the price.
Nothing has not. It has not changed. I can assure you of that. But just out of interest, mate, would we? In the sheds, we might just have to buy an in the sheds membership. So,
and share the shirt, or we just get one each.
Might be no, hang on. That's getting a bit off topic. Anyway, off we go. We move on.
Yeah, I think with the Pirates membership, it's less about making a profit and more about getting the brand name out there. So it's more about getting people having the hat, and like the Ellenbrook hat you're wearing around. It's about that sort of brand recognition,
brand awareness. That's it.
Getting the name out there, and it's all about promotion rather than profits, which is a great thing to see. I do want to raise one thing. We briefly touched on it before off air, that about the how far are we closer to getting a team for WA? How are we conversation? Because I heard it on SEN today, and I nearly lifted off when they were talking about having another franchise in Melbourne. I know the Storm are just going bananas, but yeah, I think that's a pipe dream. I think that was just
fake news.
A case of talking on a Victorian radio station and saying that the NRL CEO basically said, we'd never rule it out, but it wasn't something that was truly on his radar. But there's been a lot of talk about the WA team in the last week, because the old North Sydney Bears, who they're trying everything they can to get their brand back out there, and there was talk during the week that they'd be more than happy to become the Western Bears and move over and have the team based in Western Australia, but with the Bears logo and the old Bears red and black colours and all that sort of stuff.
Because that comes back to one of the crossovers I spoke about earlier about where everyone is in the media cycle and stuff like that. You know, the soccer guys, they're talking about expanding their league, and they're nowhere.
No.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking
NRL is definitely picking up in this state.
Absolutely.
In the last couple of years, and I think we've said that quite a few times. It's a shame because the Western Reds was not a bad setup as far as I mean, I was quite young when they were around, but their logo, their brand, like everything about it looked good. They looked fierce and everything like that. And
they had Adrian Barrich playing for them as well. So what could go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, talking about the Western Reds, it's the ex-chairman of the Reds. He's another bloke that sort of come out during the week, and he's made a lot of money through trucking or something. I believe Laurie Putty. He's come out during the week and he's willing to back a team as well. So having some sort of financial support would be something that's crucial. He said that the NRL needs to let us know, though, if they need to be definitive that this is going to happen. In 3 years' time, we're going to have our own team, because you can't get sponsors. You can't get people to put in money to support and sponsor.
Not like any corporate body, they have they'll have a allocation of money.
Yeah,
but it's not like, can you sponsor us? Oh yeah, here you go, have your money.
Yeah,
it's got to be X amount of years in the and then allocated in your budget. But it's got to be NRL driven now.
Yeah,
because we've seen what happens with the Force, where they basically threw the Force under a bus.
Yeah,
and just let them drown.
Because you're not going to get as good as the under-18s competition is, and they'll be calling the game on Saturday. And that goes out to anyone who wants to watch it, but the coverage is nowhere near the same in that under-18s competition compared to the NRL. And you're talking about progressing into under-20s and a reserve grade team before getting an NRL team, and doing all this without having anything from the NRL saying, well, if you do all this, then we'll give you a team. But there's none of that. We're sort of doing it and hoping that they'll see that we're being good boys and give us a team. Yeah. And it just doesn't work that way. You're going to go broke if you do it that way, yes. I think. So yeah, there's a lot going on, but the silence from the NRL is quite notable. But I think they're really trying to promote this game that's coming up. On the 10th of March,
double header, yep.
Double header, the first time Optus Stadium will ever be used in that rectangular configuration. So that'll be something that'll be interesting to see how it translates into a rectangular sport, because obviously they're adding the extra seats, they bring everyone closer to the ground, so they completely change the configuration. So that in itself, I think, would be something worth getting along to, as well as Billy Slater's 300th game. Future immortal Cameron Smith's going to be involved in the game, the defending premiers, all these sorts of reasons to get along and watch it. Hoping to get a good crowd along, and I think that's another thing that's really driving this talk of expansion.
No worries. Well, we'll be back after this, and we're going to talk about Midland Guildford. Our girls played in the grand final in the A and B grade, and we've got the results. We'll be back after this.
On VCA 885 FM, where the Valley comes alive, this is In the Sheds. If you've got something to say about the show or something happening in your community, contact us via Facebook. Back soon.
The Valley comes alive on 88.5 when we travel with Beryl Licence down memory lane every Thursday at 9 a.m.
This is In the Sheds with Albie, Brucey and Donnie on VCA 885 FM, where the Valley comes alive.
That's right, you're in the Sheds. You can hit us up on Twitter. You can send us a message on Facebook. If you've got an opinion on anything we've spoken about tonight on the Controversy Corner or in the Blowtorch, we haven't got around them yet, but we will be doing that very soon. Right, we're going to get into Midland Guildford, and we're going to start with the women. The 2020 A grade and B grade played in the grand final after such a dominant season. Brucey, it's pretty disappointing. We've come out with the losses. Basically, we got smashed in both games, Donnie.
Yeah, it's. It is disappointing, and I think the timing, as good as it was for the Western Fury to make the final of the WNCL competition, it meant that a lot of our best players were playing for WA in that final against New South Wales.
Elise Villani, Tanil Pichel for two, just to name a couple that we lost, who have been absolutely dominant all season.
But in saying that, it's no excuse for the way that we played. We were bowled out for 61. Melville got the runs in just over 10 overs. So they're only halfway through their overs, and they'd got past our total. But yeah, an extremely disappointing way to end the season. It's always tough when you head into a final and you don't have your strongest team available.
Yeah, very disappointing, but a quick mention to young Sophie Brown, who was elevated to the A grade to play in that. Sophie joined us on the show a few weeks ago when she was playing in the under-15s state team for WA, so elevated into the A grade for the grand finals, a pretty big accomplishment, although a pretty long day.
It's a show of faith, and to have a girl that young promoted into A grade team for such an important match certainly shows the kind of esteem that Midland Guildford hold her in, and they're certainly expecting big things from her as she grows and develops as a cricketer.
We'll move on to the B grade, an even more forgettable game for the girls there. Subiaco they've bowled them 7 for 75. Mel Jacks with 2 for 8. Absolutely fantastic effort. They were smashed for 10 for 36 off 10 overs.
Yeah, I don't know whether there are craters in the pitch or something, but Subiaco, they couldn't score. They batted out their full 20 overs and only made 75 runs, so they really dug in and found it really tough, but managed to survive the full 20, and then we come out and all out for 38. I don't know what more can you say about a team that's 10 for 38. It's in a final, and they deserve to be there. This is a team that didn't get there by mistake. They have dominated throughout, and
they lost one match, I think, for the season.
Yeah, it's
Annie Jeevers and Madeline Gardner both top scored with 7, so it's a very disappointing finish to a fantastic season. And I'm sure the girls will be looking to charge forward next year, but like I said, I mean, lost a lot of key players. Amanda Bellucci's another one who's played B grade all season, and she got elevated into the A grade grand final. We did lose a few key players, but I guess in saying that, the Melville probably lost a few key players as well. So, I'm sure they weren't void of losing a player or two. We'll get into the A grade men's versus Fremantle. Another disappointing effort.
A really tight loss. I mean,
yeah,
in first grade and second grade, both of them really close games, and we found a way to lose, and that seems to be what we've done at Middle and Guildford this season. We find ways to lose games rather than ways to win them.
Yeah, Keaton Critchell, though, 106 off 204, and Jay Credelli, 50 off 89. Freo's Jared McPhee, 7 for 40 off 21 overs. Sam Whiteman, we knew he was going to fire up, 68 off 109 for him.
Now, when we got Sam Whiteman out, the score was at 6 for 112. They were chasing 184 for victory. From that point, once you get Sam Whiteman out, you think we go on and we should win that game from there. But, they ended up getting to our total with 1 wicket to spare. So, a good job from them. But, again, it's disappointing that we couldn't get that last wicket and get the win.
Yep, Charlie Castle with 4 for 65 in the bowling. The B grade, as you said, 10 for 153, defeated by Fremantle, 10 for 158, 5-run loss. Very close. Kyle Christie with 3 for 37 off his 13. William Riley, 26, and Matthew Olsen, 27, top scored. Brucey, how about this C grade? How'd they go?
Yeah, Middle and Guildford, 10 for 140. Looking at that, then, they were defeated outright by Fremantle. This was a 2-day, was it, boys?
Yeah, mate. Yep.
Yeah, so basically, the second innings was 9 for 185. They were defeated outright, 4 for 107 by Fremantle in the first. Chased it down with 4 for 116 in the second innings. Michael Ferreira, who's he play for, mate? What have we got there?
Yeah, so these are the Middle and Guildford stats.
Middle and Guildford, okay, righto. So, Michael Ferreira, he top scored with 66, and Jared Davies with 59, top scored. Hudson Knight took 3 for 42 for the bowling.
No worries. And the D grade, Middle and Guildford, 5 for 198. They've defeated Fremantle, 10 for 77. And then in the second innings, they scored 8 for 137, so they win off of first innings.
They weren't far off their outright win there.
They were very close.
It's pretty much the only good news, I think, from Middle and Guildford is, again, in the fourth grade. So,
well, the fourth grade's sitting second on the ladder, so we do expect them to be performing well. Sam Evans with 108, great effort by him, and Sam Orme with 1 for 12 in the bowling. We'll be back in a moment, and we're going to get around them to finish the show. We've got a few to get through, so we'll be back after this.
On VCA 885 FM, where the Valley comes alive, this is In the Sheds. If you've got something to say about the show or something happening in your community, contact us via Facebook. Back soon.
Why not join me every Wednesday morning between 8 and 10 a.m. when Hunter Plays For You? The show will feature 4 artists, one every half hour, and will be an eclectic mix of music, predominantly from the 60s, 70s and 80s, with a bit of history on the featured artist and their music. Requests can be made, email, radio vca88.5@gmail.com or phone 92971088.
This is In the Sheds with Albie, Brucey and Donnie. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter @TheSheds885.
That's right, you're in the Sheds. You can hit us up on Twitter @TheSheds885 or you can send us a message on Facebook. We're going to get around them and basically this is how we're going to finish off the program. We're going to start with our favourite Sam Kerr. I had a bit of a fanboy moment this week, guys, didn't I? As soon as I find the photo.
Fanboy, you're trading personal texts now, right?
Yeah. Mate, I was...
we all have a very affiliate... I won't say, yeah. We love Sam Kerr. Let's cut to the chase here.
The Get Around Him segment it could almost be sponsored by Sam Kerr. She gets a mention every single week. So me and Brucey were talking on the weekend and I said I might just send a message to her Facebook page, and I've actually addressed it to the managers of the Facebook page and said whoever manages this page, basically look, we're a local sport community page, we've got female soccer teams and stuff, and we think she'd be an amazing guest to just talk about. If you ever listen to the program you would know that we're massive supporters. Sam has actually personally messaged us back. I didn't even know what to do. Like, the biggest giggly, girly moment of my life, really. So Sam has written back to us. She's obviously at the moment she's out of the country with the Matildas, and she's keen to basically come on the show. Thanked us for the support and just basically said, look, at the moment while she's part of the Matildas, we have to submit a request through the FFA, but she's keen to have a chat to us.
It just couldn't happen. We would sit here and we would have our mouths open, our jaws on the floor.
It would be the most awkward.
There would be no questions asked. Be the worst interview of her career. But
this is a girl who has for one, she's overseas. She has a Facebook page that has about 10,500 people following it, and she's personally messaged us.
Is there anything Sam Kerr can't do? That's going to be the next segment.
Yeah, what can't Sam do?
That's amazing, and it just speaks volumes, and that's why we love her.
Yeah,
seriously,
I saw a great tweet from Sam Kerr during the week. She Daniel Kerr apparently come out and said that she'd love Sam to finish
her sporting career.
Yeah, finish her sporting career playing AFLW and
for West Coast.
For West Coast, and Sam shot back and said, "Oh, I would have loved Daniel to finish playing with the Perth Glory too, but that never happened."
So
yeah. She's pretty quick, pretty sharp, but yeah, just speaks volumes to her character. And the first thing I did was screenshot it and send it to you guys. It'll be...
I'm as giddy as a schoolgirl.
Oh yeah. Did you actually respond?
I did actually. Yeah, I can't remember what I wrote. It was just I don't know how do you reply in heavy breathing like
no
hyperventilating.
Yeah.
Just go. Right, we'll move on.
We will attempt to make sure that we do get in touch with the right people, and we are a hard-hitting community radio sporting program, and I'm sure we can get our pile together at least for half an hour if Sam Kerr comes in, and hopefully she does.
If anyone has any real contacts, because we're a couple of Neville Nuffies that don't know anyone, get in touch with the show and give us your contacts, because
hey,
we'd love to.
Albie's texting Sam Kerr here. He's an A-lister, mate. Do you know? I'm.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't. Not a big deal or anything like that. But
talk it up. Never talk it down, mate.
No, that's exactly right. Bryce Cotton, fantastic. Taking out the MVP, much to the disgust of Homicide, but this is getting around him, so
we're getting around him. Look, it's been a very long season for the Wildcats. Unfortunately, Sean wasn't available tonight. Not sure what's going on there. His itinerary would be as jam-packed as mine, so for him to fob us off for some other thing, I'm not sure what that one's about, but... yeah, for Bryce Cotton, he has had a quieter year than what he's probably had in the past. But just a quick look through some of his stats. He's led the league in scoring in points, and he won the 3-point. Scored the most 3 points.
Yeah.
So he's had probably the Wildcats haven't had the greatest year either. It's been very clunky, but geez, he's won us some games of basketball. He is just absolutely
the go-to man for the Wildcats all season. He's if they shut him down, then basically they shut the Wildcats down. That's the way that it's been throughout this season. I think towards the back end of the year, he's probably been shut down more often than not. And I think people sort of have short memories and they forget what he did at the start of the season when he was leading the team to all the victories,
single-handedly getting us over the line.
Yeah, we're sitting on top of the ladder at one point, and we still finished the season in third, and a lot of that on the back of the great offence of Bryce Cotton and the great defence of guys like Damien Martin,
who once again won MVP for the best defensive player in the league. And yeah, we can't work out what you're going to do with Corey Williams, but one interesting stat I did sort of find out over the week, he actually played for the Washington Wizards, which is the team that plays against the Harlem Globetrotters. So it was basically, so you get paid to lose professionally.
Yeah, I was going to say there's not too many victories.
And he's going, no, we were always out there to win. It's like, yeah, righto, Tiger.
Oh,
you frame it however you want to. That's why you don't rate the Wildcats and you don't rate Damien Martin. You think he's a crab, and
you're out there to win. I remember watching an episode of The Simpsons where they were getting stuck in a Krusty the Clown because he put a $50,000 bet on them to win, and he's like, I thought they were you.
Yeah.
So, sorry, you don't win. You never win against Harlem Globetrotters.
No, but it's
someone that did have a win, though. The Perth Glory, for once.
I nearly lost it. I could not believe this. I thought this was circa 2 years ago when I heard the result.
Well, you'll notice in the notes for this game, I've put down there, no, that score's not the wrong way around.
Are you sure?
Have
we actually we fact-checked this? Wow.
Yeah,
and apparently we're still a chance of we're 5 points out of fourth place.
Yeah, a key game this weekend, away game to the Western Sydney Wanderers, who are they're in sixth place at the moment, the Wanderers. If they beat us, which they'd be favourite to do, they should beat us. It's in their backyard. They beat us, basically. We've been saying it for 6 weeks that their season's over, but you'd think that will definitely be their season over. They need to win this game. But, this is get around them, so
get around them.
Get around the Perth Glory. And they had to come from behind to do it too. So there were few chances, I think, in the first half, and it was Melbourne City that scored first a minute before the break. But it was in the 66th minute where the big moment of the game happened, when Melbourne had a defender pick up his second yellow card and was sent off. From that moment forward, Glory really, really pushed forward and were pressing for that equaliser. It was Neil Kilkenny that got it, with just 5 minutes left on the clock. And you would have thought that's a 1-1 draw. But contrary to what we've done all season, rather than finding a way to lose, we found a way to win. It was 6 minutes and 20 seconds into injury time when an Adam Taggart header got past the keeper and got us a win against third place Melbourne City, which if you had told me, again, I'm still waiting for Donald Trump to tell us that this is fake news.
Well, what was the first goal scorer? He was ex-Melbourne City player as well, wasn't he? He came over in the transfer window because he couldn't get a game.
Yeah,
he couldn't get a game with them, so he came over to Perth and what do they call it in cricket? Apparently gave the Melbourne City coach a bit of a send-off, sort of like couldn't get a game, eh? So it's
just quickly, Brucey. The assassin messaged in. He said, I just got home the last 10 minutes. The first thing I hear is Brucey sledge me. So wait till next week.
Oh, well.
Yeah. And lastly, we're going to get around the Swan Valley Soccer Club. So they announced yesterday that they will be fielding a fourth team. Basically, they're doing so well with their numbers that, they're basically looking to push for a fourth team. This means third team will field in the Metropolitan League. Many of the players making up the team are now new to the club and be training for the first time on Wednesday evening. So it's important to get down, have a train, give everyone a warm welcome. A huge step for the club's expansion. And they've seen numbers double in the past 18 months. So make sure you get around the Swan Valley Soccer Club. They're obviously doing big and wonderful things.
It's all because of us, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yep.
Why else would it be?
Great effort.
That's it.
And, look forward to supporting the Swan Valley Soccer Club, and the whole Swan Valley Sporting Club's been very supportive of the show. They've promoted us, and hopefully we've promoted them with as much vigour as they've helped us out. So, looking forward to supporting them throughout the season.
No worries. Well, that's another one in the books. We'll looking forward to next week, and I'm sure something in the JLT will upset us, and we'll get stuck into it, or someone will annoy us, and someone will do something good, probably Sam, and we'll talk her up again next week. Thanks very much for joining us. You're in the Sheds.
On VCA 885 FM, where the Valley comes alive, you've been listening to In the Sheds with Albie, Brucey and Donny. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter @The Sheds 885. See you 6:30 next Wednesday.